So our second presentation is from Community Programs and Parking Services. David Guida, our Assistant Director, is going to give a presentation on the Tatlock Playground.
Thank you, Council President. Very excited to be presenting these hot off the press designs tonight. This is what you're seeing right there is what is hopefully coming to Tatlock Playground by, and I keep saying this, if we put this good energy out in the air, it will happen by the end of this year.
Did you turn?
Nope, I didn't. I always have an issue with this. I should know this by now.
Thanks, Nancy.
Thank you, Nancy.
Okay, so just a little bit of background on how this design was created. So we've been talking about playgrounds for a while now. In June 2022, Suburban Consulting delivered a full playground assessment to us with a $1.3 million estimate for the Tatlock Playground. And looking at all of our playgrounds in town, knowing very well that pretty much all of them need a decent amount of work, we kind of took the analysis and said, hey, each playground needs to have a unique feature that makes it special, gives everybody a destination to go to in Summit. So our Tatlock Playground, we decided on the theme of nature. So everything natural over there at Tatlock. In the spring of 24, along with Mayor Fagan, working with the ideas classes at all of the elementary schools, we solicited feedback from all of these students in those classes, and they gave us some really amazing ideas. In the fall of this past year, we sent out a survey including many, many, many of the top elements that the students were requesting in a survey. And the survey was sent out also by the Washington School PTO to solicit further feedback on what parents would like to see for their children within all of the playgrounds. November, December of this past year, met with a couple different playground providers to gain information and different ideas. Compman kind of rose to the top, and we ended up with some pretty cool designs to address a couple questions that have been raised throughout this process. At Tatlock Playground, there is about 20% of it that is owned by the Board of Education. We are working with the Board of Education on these plans. However, playgrounds apparently at the schools are also becoming a hot button topic. Right now, the Board of Ed's plan is to renovate Jefferson School this year. They then plan on moving on to, hopefully, pending grant funding, redoing the playground at the Brayton Blacktop in fiscal year 26. Currently, there are no plans for them to redo the Franklin or Lincoln playgrounds. Again, those are Board of Ed properties, but just for the completeness of this presentation, thought it was important to mention that because that has become a topic of conversation within these discussions. Purchasing, because I have a feeling that this question would come up, all of the playground equipment is itself on state contract, so we'll be able to buy it through the state contract. And Compman also works with an installer who is on the Bergen County Co-op, so we can also have the installation and equipment removal all done through the co-op, which makes everything easy. Don't have to go out to bid because they are on these contracts. So kind of just putting up some more images. The playground will have the same existing footprint, same entrances that currently exists. We'll have the area for the 5 to 12-year-olds, the area for the 2 to 5-year-olds, and the real highlights of the playground are the owl's nest, the owl, the tree structures, and there's 2 tree structures there, and also a nature exploration area for the younger children. So just kind of ooh and awe, everybody can look at it. Ooh, that looks so great. All of these renderings will be available online as of tomorrow, pending a affirmative action that we're good to go with this design, tentatively to begin some fundraising campaigns. So that's the exploration area for the little ones, the tree structure, lots of great elements within the playground. And you can see that even with the swings and everything, we're going for that very natural wood look, which is really cool, I think. Bird's eye view of what the playground will look like. I'm biased, I think it looks great. So now the real fun part to talk about is there is an option A and an option B. Option A comes in at 1.3 million. Option B is just over $1 million. The 2 options basically work off of each other. Option B obviously takes some things out just kind of included at the bottom of what would be removed and what would be replaced within the playground. So the thought process, basically, why I'm here tonight is to ask council to say, I know it's not a formal action, but to kind of say, hey, yeah, have at it with the fundraising. So currently, we do have $852,000 in funding, pending $500,000 in this upcoming budget cycle. That has not been approved yet, but I know that that has been part of the discussion process. So assuming that that's approved, we have the 852,000. Clear distinction there because it hasn't been approved yet, so I apologize for jumping the gun saying that. But assuming we get that, we would have a fundraising goal of $191,000 for Playground A. To get the full shebang, we would have a fundraising goal of $463,000. Compman has also said that they have other ways that they can reduce the price, especially as we see how the fundraising campaign goes. So we can obviously cross those bridges when we get there. Playground timeline, March through July. And again, the Maybe Playground project, I think we can all agree, has really taken a life of its own, has moved at a snail's pace. So when we put this on paper and really see how this is going to go, we see that fundraising, it's not going to be a long, drawn-out fundraising campaign. We're going to do some real distinct events where we try to raise some funds for it, a distinct fundraising campaign with bricks, and also working with local nonprofits. The Elks have expressed a great deal of interest in working with us. They said typically they can get about $100,000 in fundraising from an event. So that's kind of what has been thrown out there. In May, we would look to probably go out based on how the fundraising is going and at least commit to the owl and the tree play structure, because these items do need a 7-month lead time. So once the budget is hopefully adopted, we'll be able to go out, sign a contract basically to say, begin constructing these play structures for us. September is when we would need to have all the fundraising done by, so that's why, say in July, give us a little wiggle room. By September, we would have the full contract, and then by November, December, we could see some construction on the site. So that's it on Tatlock. Just, I have a feeling that these questions would come up, so just real quickly to breeze through it. Maybe Playground, we're getting there, hopefully by the summer. Right now, we just have an outstanding soil permit. Once we get that, we're going to send everything down to the DEP. The PAR has already been sent for approval, but then the bid specs go down. After we get that done, hopefully in March, April, we'll be getting the bids out and then awarded in April to begin construction as soon as possible following that. And because playgrounds are the hot button topic and it gets a little convoluted because we have 3 projects going on at the same time, essentially, we've now started applying for grants for the memorial playground. So I'll go back to the pretty looking picture because that's where we make friends, when people see the nice stuff. So that's it. So basically, what I'm here to ask for is just to say, hey, these designs look great. Good luck fundraising.
Thank you, David. Are there any questions or comments from the public on our playground plan? None? Okay, let's move on to council. Any council comments or questions? Madam Mayor.
Usually don't do this, but so a couple questions. One is, I know that part of the reason we're having this conversation is because we got to a point with our 20 and 25-year-old playgrounds where we couldn't replace things and we couldn't repair things. So I guess one of my questions is, what's a warranty situation for any of this stuff? And then sort of with that, you mentioned wood, which outdoors in New Jersey feels like a sort of scary concept for something that's going to live outdoors.
So it's not all wood. It looks like wood. It's this recycled plastic material. So it's not the aluminum that you look at on most playgrounds. And what was the first part of the question?
Just a warranty.
Oh, the warranty. There's actually a full warranty page in a presentation that I can circulate to everybody. On the main play structures, it's like there is a lifetime warranty that exists, and then there's
Lifetime.
Exactly. But then there's a bunch of tiers. There's certain things that are 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and I think there's a 25-year one as well. So I can circulate that around to everybody.
Thank you.
Of course.
Other comments?
Council
Councilman
President.
Boyer.
Just one question. So I'd like to remain optimistic, but if we appropriate $500,000 and we don't come up with the fundraising money, what happens then?
we'll just have to scale the project back a little bit. But a playground will be installed by the end of this year.
Whoa,
So the owl have to go?
okay,
That's the goal.
okay, all right.
All right. Other comments or questions from council?
Council President.
Yes, Councilman Smallwood.
I'll be really quick. David, great job, and I would like to give David credit for recognizing the fact that Tatlock mascot is the owl, and a lot of these renderings, or I guess the final rendering, came from the students of Tatlock. I love the idea of Washington School, elementary school. So I love the idea of, reaching out to the kids who actually use this, and hopefully, at least the second, third, fourth graders will be able to use this next spring, and fifth
Absolutely.
graders.
Yes.
So, thank you.
Yeah. Other comments or?
Council President, I just have to point out that I am ashamed. As a Washington owl, I did not pick up on that. So
It's funny, for about a week I was walking around in the office saying, this owl's so cool, and everybody was just looking at me, what is he on about with this owl? And I finally had to say, it's the Washington Owls.
It's pretty cool. So I just have one question. What do you do on the owl? I mean, do you climb it? Do you, what is it?
There's actually, you can climb it, and then there's a rock wall. There's different platforms that you can climb up and down on it. So there's
so the rock walls on the two sides, like those back wings or what
Yep.
have you? Wow,
And then I'm
cool.
pretty sure that there's actually even a small slide on the back of it as well. When I post the renderings tomorrow, there's so many pictures of everything. You can see the whole owl.
No, very cool. It's
It'll
good.
be a hoot.
Yeah.
Good one, Rosie.
Couldn't resist. All right. Well, with that, thank you very much, David. All right. All right. So that's it for our presentation part of our meeting.